Before we get into the leaks for 2K22, I have to ask this question. I was at the court yesterday and a heated argument got started on where Chris Paul ranks all-time among point guards right now, and, since he's about to make his finals debut, where he would rank if Phoenix and Paul did end up winning the championship. So, go to the comments section right now and let me know where you think CP3 ranks at the moment and what a championship or a finals MVP would do for his all-time rankings. This might be a pretty contentious issue, so y'all behave yourselves in the comments. Also, can this vid reach 50 likes? That'd be pretty dope, as it helps the YouTube algorithm to put videos like this in front of more eyes. Additionally, there's a bunch of y'all who watch my vids and then dip without subscribing. What's up with that? Moving on, we did get the 2K22 cover leak from a reputable leaker on Twitter. In the cover art, we have a current player in Kevin Durant, a recently retired and historic player in Dirk Nowitzki, and an all-time great in Kareem. As a longtime Mavericks fan, I love the fact that Dirk is finally getting some love from the 2K series. It's crazy the type of career that he's had has never been a cover athlete, while on the other hand, dudes that have been on there like 2 or 3 times. I will say though, I'm disappointed that he is sharing it with Kareem. Not that Kareem is bad or I don't like him or anything like that, because he's definitely top 5 all time, but he's taken some pretty disrespectful shots at Dirk in the past. If you don't know what I'm talking about, here's the article covering the interview where Kareem called Dirk a one-trick pony and also mentioned he didn't have a dominant career because, quote, he couldn't do other things, end quote. A strange take considering he's talking about a guy with a championship, a league MVP, a finals MVP, a 14-time All-Star, and a 12-time All-NBA team member. But I digress. We're here for 2K22 news and not my take on Dirk's career, fair enough. That said, at least 2K isn't monetizing an NBA idol's likeness after his tragic death. Maybe that's a tough take, but if they wanted me to believe they were showing Kobe love and respect, they would have put him on the standard cover instead of the one that you had to pay extra for. Anyway, as far as the cover art is concerned, I don't love it. It's definitely not the worst. I've never been the type to be super worried about who's on the cover or what it looks like. If you're that type of dude, no shots at you. But I've always been more interested in how the game plays. That said, there was something that really stuck out to me in regards to the cover though. This was a statement that said, includes NBA 2K22 for both console generations. If you watched my last video on my wishlist for NBA 2K22, you know what I'm about to say here. If this is true, 2K just guaranteed at least another year's worth of a game cycle of a split community. We'll be getting 2 different games, one for next gen and one for current gen. You might be thinking, P, how can you extract that from a small sentence? Simply put, why would this edition, which I assume is the deluxe edition, include both games for each generation if they weren't different games? Like, why would they say includes both generation of games if they were just the exact same game? That would make no sense. That said, let's get into why this is going to be a total shit show. Like I mentioned in the previous vid, most of the time 2K underdelivers on its annual release when they're just focused on creating one game. Now we have the 2K development team split into halves, and damn if you thought they were understaffed and undersupported before, it's like, here we go again. I fully expect the current generation of consoles to get another underwhelming title, very similar to what they have now. The unfortunate part about this is, I do believe that there are some features from new gen that could totally be in current gen. Like, to be fair, I've never coded or developed a game, but it doesn't make much sense to me as to why the new gen build system couldn't be in the current generation game. Like it's just formulating numbers for attributes and the same badges that are in both games. Doesn't seem to me that would be anything the current gen couldn't handle, right? I know the build system isn't perfect, but it has way more potential than the current system. So hopefully they give it a few slight tweaks here and there and deliver that experience for everyone. A lot of 2K fans are still upset after hearing this though. The main reason is because the separate games will inevitably split the community in half again. This is terrible for several reasons. Like I already said, it split the development team, and that sucks, but it also hurts the popularity of the game. Here's what I mean. Massive cross-plat games always garner lots of attention and viewership on platforms like Twitch. We see that with games like Fortnite and Warzone. Those games always have massive viewership, and while 2K is slightly more of a niche market, you will not garner near the same numbers because there will be folks who prefer to watch current gen and some who enjoy next gen. Not to say that 2K is dying, but it would definitely lower the numbers and kind of make it look like it's dying, and nobody wants to play a dying game. This leads me to the next issue with the split. It hurts content creators. It's not reasonable to think that NBA 2K content creators should be making content between 2 different games with split viewership and no chance for consistency because their viewer base will have no clue with what game they'll be covering on any given day. And if you think the content creator thing is a null issue, then I don't think you're paying attention. Between dudes in the community like Flight, Agent Zero, Joe Knows, and many more, all those guys bring 2K free advertisement. If you don't think that's true, give it a month from now when the biggest 2K YouTubers get invited to 2K22's info dump pre-release party thing. They'll walk around with their cameras and react positively to dumb shit like how ass the soundtrack is again on this 2K. Seriously, go to your favorite 2K YouTuber's channel and find a video from about 11 months back. Guarantee they go to those events, except Agent. Agent doesn't get invited because Ronnie 2K hates his ass. But in all honesty, it's 2021. We should be focusing on things like cross-platform that brings gamers closer together and not leaving your community on different islands. I'm honestly kind of at the point now where, since I know both generations are probably going to be underwhelmed with what they get, I think I would much rather have a slightly dumbed down experience on next gen so that we can join the community on current gen. Honestly, as a next generation player, I'm not even sure that I know anybody that would be upset if we ditched the city idea and just went purely into matchmaking. Worst case, just throw us in the same parks as last gen. Who cares? If it was up to me, we would just matchmake anyway. But we all know that's not going to be possible. Those pesky ad placements in the park that 2K have prioritized over your gaming experience take precedence over everything else. I have another video where I go into that in detail, so I'll make sure to leave a card at the top of the corner of this video. I understand there are a lot of folks that couldn't get their hands on the next generation of consoles, whether that was because of shop bots or just the general struggle that this is the pandemic or scalpers or whatever the case. But I'm not ready to show 2K grace because of this. The reason is because if we go all the way back to 2013 when everything was still relatively normal, they made the exact same decision to create two different games. That's correct. If you remember right, the game for those who got the Xbox One and PS4 edition of 2K were different than the ones people were playing on Xbox 360 and PS3. This is something that their PR team and their head honchos at the top seem to be totally cool with, so the excuse that it's because of the economic issues of today doesn't really fly with me. All of this said, I think this is a long tangent off a few words from a lead cover, but we do this every year. I just want the best for the game, and even when I get fed up and try to walk away, my passion for basketball pulls me back into the 2K mix. The cover also said the game is set to drop September 10th, which is about what we expect from the release dates of the past few years. This puts us at just about 2 months before the new 2K drops, and this leak has officially begun the endgame for 2K21, as well as what will be a hurricane of news and speculation from now until the September 10th release date. I want to continue to cover this since it's something I follow heavily anyway, and can guarantee there will be videos in the future documenting our approach to the release date. If you enjoyed this vid, please consider hitting the like button, maybe even subscribing for more videos just like this one. I appreciate everyone who took the time to watch the vid up to this point. Dude, I'll see you in the next one, man. Peace.